I would like to introduce Donna Coogan, who is Irish, I believe, and who lives in the town of Cork, C-O-R-K. She is not just a poet, she's a multi-media creative person. Is that reasonable?
Sounds
Donna?
lovely. Yeah, like that.
And I'm hoping that today we will not only hear some poems from Donna, but maybe see one or two of the things that she has made, if that's possible. Is that possible, Donna?
Definitely.
Okay, so I like to keep my introductions very short, but I also like to write a limerick for the day's poet. And here is the limerick which I wrote about Donna about 10 minutes ago. To listen to poems by Donna is truly a joy and an honor. The lady from Cork does a lot more than talk, so blessings from God be upon her. Honor.
That's so gorgeous. What a lovely introduction. Thanks a million. I am in a little bit of a tizzy because it was a little bit of a very last minute change where I was hoping to do a PowerPoint, but that's not to be. So I had to cut out the images manually. So there might be a little bit of me jumping all around the place. So I'm going to, I have a little body of work from an exhibition in 2013. My only sister, Deirdre, who lived most of her life in Australia, died in 2012. She was very different to me. She was kind of modest, and I just know wherever she is, she would just be tickle pink at the idea that I have dedicated an exhibition to her and these poems, this collection of poems about her. I'd say she's giggling wherever she is. But so this, the exhibition is called The 13th Month, and at the time I was back in art college doing textiles, fine art textiles, with a group of women, and we worked out this exhibition. So the 12 of us, each person took one of my poems, and we made panels, 1 meter by 1.5 meters, and I made a panel as well. And then I wrote a poem called The 13th Month, which is the title of the exhibition. So it's like the first year of grief, you spend your time going, oh, this time last year we were doing this, and there's still some kind of connection. And then when you get to the 13th month, it's very different, because there's no this time last year, because this time last year, my sister wasn't there, you know. So, I mean, these poems are a mixture of kind of health issues, you know, support groups, happy days, sad days, memories. You know, I think it's quite a light collection. So here I go. I'm doing a mixture of holding up and reading. Okay, so this is the first piece. So these are all textile panels. They're 1 meter by 1.5 meters. And this piece is to go with a poem called On Hold. On hold, they cut a piece of me, sent it to America. No word yet. It could be still traveling, speckled in a petri dish, on ice in the hold. Flying high, and I am flying too, through the Hail Marys. I just remembered I'm not meant to wear my glasses. So we'll the blind. So this second piece is called Blood. And so look at, we probably all know what it's like going in to give blood samples. It's a primrose-coloured corridor, padded with people. On arrival, each patient tugs a ticket from the wall-mounted wheel, sits and watches electronic numbers flip. We rise and fall, working our way towards the blood-taking station. Behind the door, a child is wailing, poor thing. Some nurses just don't have the knack. Feeling the strain from my own filleted health, I wonder, what if we all started to cry? So this next poem, this is the panel that I made. It's kind of, yeah, a lot of my work would be kind of, you know, from the glass element of transparency and layers that you can see through. So this is a little poem called Problem, and it really is about, you know, when you have a group of friends and you share a problem and you have a laugh and the problem can dissolve, which can be quite nice. So this would be kind of layers of organza and kind of paper coming through, the problem kind of half sunk, and by the end it's dissolved. Problem. Take it, divide it between friends into origami folds, getting smaller and smaller until tiny. Then we pop it in our mouths, chew it over, laughing as it melts. How am I doing with the images? Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay. So this next one is probably one of my biggest ones, and it's called Dragon Boats. My sister lived in Australia most of her life, and she had breast cancer, and there was kind of, I think it was a Canadian doctor kind of said, look at rowing boats is really good. I think people with breast cancer and treatment can get kind of edema in their arms, and rowing is meant to be really healthy for that. So the dragon boats were set up, and look at you, they were a great sharing team of people, and she just loved it. Dragon boats. She hates the early starts, wakes her sleeping limbs with a milky cup of tea. 20 minutes to the slip, under the armpit of the bridge, headlights guide her across the makeshift car park. Men and women alight, happy to be a group again. They check to see who is missing. Quickly don pink lycra tops, dragons abreast printed on their backs. They push out into Blackwattle Bay, row under the magic of stars, circle the water of a hushed city. Orders from the sweep, build it up, reach it out, go for length, fast recovery, easy, let it run. The cafe is ready for them. Rattle of cups, release of steam, warmth seeps into their bones, their chat so ordinary. So, and the next one, oh, wrong way, is called Health Foods. And, you know, sure, look at, we're all into our health foods and trying to fix things and healthy diets, and, you know, it goes alongside with illness and that. So my sister and I were really different, but I mean, very close. Like, I mean, she was interested if I had a scratch, you know. I mean, you know, a very unique person, you know, that was totally there and interested. So this is called health foods. You emailed that your tummy was still off. I recommended my cure-all, brown rice. How do you cook it? You asked, and I laughed. Last visit, we painted your kitchen sunflower yellow, hung coloured glass pieces from your window where the sun in the cobalt Sydney sky reaches in. I was too late, but I'm here now, washing dishes in your sink, following the teabag trail with the cloth along the countertop. I've emptied your fridge of redundant food plans. Would your dried up window plants hydrate on salty water? So, so my sister's name was Deirdre. I mean, I kind of smile when I'm doing this because I can just picture her kind of thinking, what is this about me? So this is called Deirdre. I'm wearing my sister's socks, her amethyst birthstone earrings. She'd feel quite at home in my house, her stuff in every room. Tea towels that say, why not dance in the rain? Paintings I gave her cover my walls. Catching the afternoon sun, the angel man she made, trailing a red clay heart. I'm finishing her face creams, delighted with her eyebrow dye kit, cool nail scissors, new marshmallow pink towel. I keep her Dragons Abreast ID tucked in my purse, with the ring engraved, if it is to be, it's up to me. Wise sister, come back. Meet me on the border. Let's just look at each other, because your eyes were closed. Did you like the warm socks? Your feet were so cold. Oh, here we are. Okay, so this next one is a memory one, and we both grew up in the same house, of course, in Clontarf in Dublin. And, you know, of course, for our generation, sunbathing was a big thing. And getting sunburnt was, you know, what we all did, I'm afraid. But so this is called Clontarf. It's Saturday, mid-July. My sister and I are down the back garden, out of the shadow of the house. Blankets stretched on cut grass, bodies spreading in the sun. We will toast ourselves even. Sounds travel from other gardens. Lolly Hines paces the path next door. We hear the rise and fall of the latch on Barrett's gate. Dr. Gumbriel hammers in his workshop. Bobby barks loudly 4 doors away. 18 semis in a row, suburban grids softened by fuchsia, honeysuckle, and the pink Kerry rose. We crawled through all of them, playing games of hide and seek, an oasis of heat and hum. Tonight we will go dancing. Now, this is called Daybreak. Waking from the rumble of my dreams. No change. Sister still dead. I step outside into first light. The breeze meddles and mixes the autumnal garden. If I can stay under the cover of trees, invisible on the wooden swing, watch my family bring the house to life, making the day like any other. So this is a little one called, can you see that? It's a bit shiny, is it? Tell it to the tree. Her secrets, inked on rice paper, folded into origami stars, sealed inside walnut shells, dipped in silver, they dangle from the Christmas tree. Okay. And so I suppose this one, home after an unkind day, you know, the sense of maybe of hospital trips and, you know, they don't particularly go well, or you're kind of a bit invisible and you come home exhausted. Home after an unkind day. Cornflakes heaped in a blue striped bowl, sparkling with sugar, flooded with milk. Beside the bedside lamp, the contents of pockets, coins heaped in a lucky slot avalanche. Clothes dropped in a heap on the floor, deactivated soft folds. Folded limbs beneath white sheets, making an impression for the first time that day. So it's getting, so this is a cheery one, you know. There are some, of course, nature is always a tonic and the seasons are always amazing. No matter what's going on in our lives, it can be one of your good days. So this is called Cheers. I'm standing in the rain, no coat, no shoes. I wish I could say naked, but maybe next year. I watch magnolia flowers float on cropped grass. Dripping branches glaze the crowns of bluebells. Cherry blossoms confetti covers my car. Happy to share in the soak. Shot of rainwater in glass. I toast my bud bursting, new minted garden. And this is the second last poem. So, yeah, so, you know, luckily I was in Australia and myself and my husband were with my sister. In the end, it was kind of unexpected, unexpected, but you know, it was amazing that I actually was there. And so I was able, because my sister, she never made a will or anything, so I had to kind of work things out on the spot. And my brother was there too, but really what I decided was that she would be cremated in Australia, but that we would bring her back to Ireland. And I was delighted with that decision, and I think she would be too. She wasn't married, or she didn't have a family of her own in Australia, so and she had a great life in Australia. She totally loved it and had lots of different groups and friends, but I think bringing her back to Ireland was a good decision. Myself and my husband were really excited bringing her back on the plane. It just felt so good. So this is a tiny little poem, and it's just called 2012. Bury my ashes, strata of dust, over my sweet parents' bones. Deirdre O'Flynn, carved below theirs, on a hillside close to home. So she's buried with my parents in Clontarf, which is lovely. And so this is the last poem, and it doesn't have an image. So we had 12 pieces and 12 poems, and then the title poem from the exhibition is called The 13th Month. I don't know if you're familiar, there was, and still is, I think, a quiz program on the TV called Mastermind. And for a long time, the guy in charge was Magnus Magnusson. The 13th month. I do most of my crying in the car. Hold mastermind quizzes in my head. Specialized subject, sisters, between the years 1958 and 2012. I don't have all the answers, but I'm good. What crappy singer did your sister love? Barry Manilow, I shout. Though the rear view mirror shows only road, I know they're there. Deirdre is whispering in Magnus Magnusson's ear. Yeah, that's it.
Perfectly timed, and I think it was really nice that you showed them yourself, the pictures. That really had a very special quality to it.
Okay.
It was wonderful to see this, both your words and your work, real work, were really beautiful.
Thank you.
So you just say if you would like to say something or ask a question, just show your hand or just start talking. So we have few, so we'll manage good today, I think.
Donna, did you ever feel that do you ever feel that your sister is around? Is there with you? Yeah.
I do feel, look at, you know, I mean, we're mostly Subud people here. I had an amazing experience after she passed in Australia, and I went to the Subud group, and, you know, not that I would have thought of it, but actually she was kind of opened. So I do feel like she's my sister and my Subud sister, you know. Yeah, but I miss her because, like, yeah, one sister, one of a kind, you know. Huge support. I do ask her to do things for me, but you know, if she was on the earth, I could get her to do a lot more.
I just want to say, Donna, that I really liked your reading. What I liked most about it was that the feeling behind everyday things that you describe. Yes. And it's really very potent. And I liked the simple lines that you did. And the whole thing was very tender and lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's lovely to been able to do a tribute. As I said, she'd be shocked.
Did she know you write poetry though before her passing?
Yeah. I mean, she was, you know, everything I wrote, I sent it to her, you know, and she would always give me a comment, and sure, you know, she did think I was fantastic. It's a big loss as well.
I was really, really touched. I don't have any brothers. I just have two older sisters, and I couldn't get through your poems without tears of just, they're both alive still, but both older than me. And you really touched me, the little images of just the sensitivity. Of course, the warm socks just, you know, takes one away. And your images, the armpit of the bridge, and that you're and sun tanning, you're going to toast yourselves even. Those are wonderful images that touch me. Right. Anyway, I was really moved, and it was a wonderful tribute to her.
Yeah, well, she was always my older sister. She was always 4 years older than me, and I thought she was ancient. But she was actually only 58 when she died, and now I'm 62. So it's so weird to have passed her out.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. It was really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you have a website?
I have a website my son made me for my 60th, but the images are kind of crap on it, and I haven't really gone into it. I'm pretty Luddite, really, I think, you know. I've let a lot of things slipped and a lot of very not up to date on documenting stuff or anything, you know.
Do you have shows with your art? Have you put it out there? Your art has
Yeah,
been in the
well,
public?
I mean, my last few years have been big time interrupted, but which couldn't be helped. But yeah, I mean, I would mostly, the work we would make, especially with glass, it's very labor intensive, and you know, you'd never get any price for it. So I would work towards exhibitions mostly all the time. Yeah, but yeah, so I've exhibited in America too. I have exhibited internationally and nationally. You know, yeah.
Impressive.
Feeling a bit rusty at the moment though, but look, at doing this was just even a little bit of proof of life. You know.
Yeah, Halima.
Yeah, I was, Donna, I was just delighted by your reading, delighted by your art and your poems. And one of the things that I kept laughing. It was a wonderful sense of humor. And even though this was a kind of a tragic event in your life, you had a slant on it or a way of talking about it that made me happy inside. So anyway, that's that. One of my favorite lines was, I wish I could say naked. And this is a poem called Cheers. I wish I could say naked, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
And see why I was laughing, you see? So, and I wanted to also ask you, so thank you so much for sharing those with us. It was
Thank
just
you.
wonderful. So can you tell me what I missed part of the opening, what the art pieces are made of?
Well, the year my sister died, when I came back, I went to college and with a group of women and did fine art textiles.
Okay.
So
those are pictures of textiles that you were showing?
yeah, they are all textiles, really,
Okay.
different methods of textiles. Yeah, big pieces. It was a really nice exhibition.
Oh yeah, it must have been. And were your poems alongside the exhibition?
Yeah, so the 12 pieces were kind of in a bow shape, you know, 6 and 6 in the middle of the room, and then all
Right.
around on the walls opposite the pieces were large prints of the poems, and then the 13th month was projected onto the wall at the end.
Wow,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Without being
which-
too bold to ask, do you have any pieces in your house you could take the camera to, or they're not there? It's
See,
hard to do that.
I moved into this house a year ago, and I'm still trying to sell the other house. So all my glass is up there. And then a lot of the textile pieces, one of my discoveries with doing textiles was, unlike glass, I could make really big pieces and you could just roll it up and put it in your bag and take it with you, which is like totally different to working with glass, you know. So I have a studio in town and my big pieces would be hanging up there. You know, I've used a lot of different, scale is really nice to work with in textiles because it's so easy. Still working with transparency in that. I've one tiny piece. Wait till I see if I can reach it. This is one piece, and that is actually, there's a little poem written on that.
Oh,
Nice.
Wonderful.
It's tubing and kind of, you know, transparent organza, which I adored, pushed through. It kind of has a little bit of an ash look to it. Yeah, I think that's all.
Neat. Yeah, neat. That's great.
Thank you.
So how is it when you is your work, your art inspiration, and the words come, or do you have your words or your poems, and then this is the inspiration for your art?
Well,
So is
I
there a
always,
correlation?
like, even I always use text in my work anyway. And so like in class in art college, I would make the pieces and then add text to it. And then I had a phase where I actually had heart surgery, and I just concentrated on writing poems, which was another kind of revelation from, oh my God, all you need is a computer, so it's like labor intensive of glass, textiles, another realm, and then just writing poetry is another realm, as in you only need paper and a printer. But and so then I would have had some poems, and I would have made work to go with the poems. So it can go both ways, but there usually is image, piece, and text. I don't think I've rarely made pieces that didn't have text in them.
So it's really multidimensional.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I have to leave. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Manu.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One message for you, Donna, which is not personal. This is about your country. I watched a TED talk the other night about the countries that do most good in the world.
Yeah.
He did a lot of research in this, and you know which country came at the top of his list? Ireland.
Well, now.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much. Is that it? Are we finished? Is the time
Yes,
up?
maybe, well, a few minutes if there's another
Okay.
question, something you would like to say. Of course, we have a few minutes. So
Has anybody any other questions?
otherwise, I just really would like to say thank you, because I think I said last week my aunt just passed away. So that really reconnected me with what you just said. Your words, it was wonderful, just perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all pretty universal, isn't it?
It is, yes. And but for me, it was different. I really did not know her so well. And now I've been taking care of her now while she was passing away for some weeks. It was a long process. And I'm just discovering she was writing poetry, and she would make wonderful books. And that's why I asked you. She would draw and write. And I didn't know that. So it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
To discover this and to get to know a person after passing away, and nevertheless I feel I'm talking to her. I even have the feeling she's listening to you.
Yeah.
That's really so thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
And thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Donna.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Bye bye.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Very much.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Really,
Bye.
thank you.